Yeah, and I sort of did come from PE beforehand, but it was sort of a small, lower middle market distress or specialized. And before that, I transitioned in. So I consider myself, I identify as sort of somewhere between a transitioner and coming in from PE. But Tim mentioned earlier, sort of knowing your deals cold. I think that's absolutely critical with any firm you're going to interview with. Even if you are sort of somebody who was in maybe my seat where you're sort of transitioning in, sort of not. There are proxies for having or knowing your deal experience cold. Like when I was in restructuring consulting, I did a ton of three statement modeling, cash flow work for sort of bankrupt or near bankrupt companies. And so I needed to know every assumption that drove every model. And it's not necessarily about sort of regurgitating that onto your interviewer, but it's about being able to impress upon them that you have a really finite attention to detail. You know how models work, and then sort of beyond that, I'd echo everything Casey said about making sure the story is consistent. We've talked about that a little bit, but also just making sure you are sort of consistent across the board with the story and the level of detail you're speaking to, and you're sort of conveying yourself in a manner that makes sense to the firm, if that makes sense.